Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard, and we're back for another match, and it's a hot seat match in this year's 10-ball Masters, and it's between Albinario and Spectredawn, the last two unbeaten players in the tournament, and they're about to go head to head in about 2 minutes time. And we have got 4 players left in the tournament. The two I've just mentioned. Albinario's just arrived in the lobby, and I think Spectredawn was in practicing, but he's all set to go. Welcome everybody. And the other 2 players are Cobra and Semi-Pro, and they're going to go head to head tomorrow night at 1900 British summer time. I'll be there for that. Hope you can join us. So we've got a race to 14. All combos and banks need to be called. No jump queues, jumps are allowed. Lag for break, 60-second shot clock, and a 60-second extension. And I called it the other night. I said 14-11 to Albinario. I don't know about anybody else, but we will see what happens. Right, so that room should be going up any second. Well, tell a lie, another minute or so. I don't want to start chatting away because I'll distract myself and forget the room's going up. Good evening to everybody. And we've got 8-ball tournament going on, double elimination, 2 matches on at the moment. Well, I think that for Spectredawn to win this, he has to get himself in slightly better shape for some of the shots he's having to take on. He gets out of line a wee bit awkward, and probably more often than Albinario, which leads me to believe 14-11 would be a good score to call, but I don't know what you guys think. But Albinario, well, he's not even been in practice and he just shows up, and it's worked so far, but that all remains to be seen. I take it the audio is okay, guys. That room should be now. There we go, room is up, and if you just give me a wee sec. Sorry about that, guys. I think we're okay. And we're just waiting in the queue loading up. I tweaked the sound a little bit earlier on. I don't know whether it makes any difference. I noticed the XSplit broadcaster has it's got a sound an equalizer thing. I messed about with it, but I didn't like what it was doing, so I scrubbed that idea. And Albinario's queue still hasn't loaded. Spectredawn taking his time to come in. Of course, he'll be getting the audio alert to let him know the room's up, just in case he stepped away from the PC. Right, here we go with the lag. Oh, the mouse is at the wrong speed again. Every time I tab out it does that. Obviously the nearest one has won the lag, and that is Albinario. and like many before, it's a dry break, but it's also safe. Well, the other thing to mention as well is, when you think about it, these two guys, it doesn't matter who wins this match, but these two guys themselves are both favourites for the final. And the reason I say that is because these guys have still got 2 chances of getting there. So you have to go by the odds and come to that opinion by that. They both have the best chance of getting to the final. One can obviously do it tonight, and one will have to do it over on that one loss side. Whoever loses here tonight will play the winner of the Cobra semi-pro match once that match is resolved tomorrow night. Yeah, I tweaked about the screen today and fiddled about and did things, and I'll probably change it again. $14.9 to Albi, 14.11 I said. Well, 14.10, 3 or 4 racks in it, 2 racks in it. Well, Albinario is going to get first shout, ball in hand, but look at where the 3 is. No problem getting down for the 2, and I just wish I had my little doodle thing working in this thing, but it doesn't. But where the donut is where he wants to put the cue ball, somewhere down here, and he can see the 3, because he can pot it from that side. He's got no chance the other side, and he's got room between the 8 and 9 to come down, unless he fancies going a more exotic way of getting there. It might be a bit straight though, this 2. Yeah, he's having to run round, and oh, if that kisses that ball, what is it, the 7? That was a beautiful shot, I think, but he's unlucky. Or is he? No, he's not. He's got it. Now the other thing is, he wants to get right up the table to that middle pocket to play this 4 into the corner. It's a bit narrow for the middle. Needs to keep going, and the angle again is perfect to drop onto the 5. Well, this time he wants to get higher. Now how confident is with his pace, because he wants to be, oh, wrong button, hang on a minute, he wants to be there so he can come down for the 7. He's got a perfect angle to do it. He can probably run to the left side rail. He probably would be better over hitting it than under hitting it, but if he over hits it the wrong way, he could end up behind the 8. Well, he's not risking it. He's going to take it long. Interesting thing I read today. I follow, you know, I do a bit of truck driving on Eurotruck, and I follow Wombat Trucker, his channel, because he does a lot of streams. He also does a lot of map combos that I download and install. And he was doing a live stream earlier on, and he mentioned in his reminder thing, he had a reminder up for when the stream started, and he mentioned that he was having a problem when he was streaming, because he uses OBS as an open broadcaster, which is like a free version of XSplit broadcaster, same idea. And he was having problems with stuttering and interference when he was streaming, and he read about it on forums and things, and seemingly there is an issue with Windows 10 and the game streaming software or the program that's built into Windows 10 that I didn't even know about until 2 days ago, until Sylvia mentioned it. And apparently on the forums there's a conflict between this OBS and also the Windows 10 thing, and also the Xbox game bar that's in Windows 10. I know that it's there, and he was, according to the forums, you have to disable everything in Windows 10 as far as streaming goes. Now I haven't read anything about any problem with XSplit Broadcaster, but I duly went in and disabled all the Windows 10 stuff, so I don't normally get any complaints that there's any stuttering on my streams, so I've disabled everything that could cause it. So here's hoping it goes all smooth, and I won't ever be using the Windows thing anyway, so what if you're not using it, just get rid of it. It's just another resource hog, because apparently it's running in the background all the time. But Albinario couldn't have asked for a better start. A strong start by Albi. I think Stubbs burnt out. I'd be very surprised if he drops in. He said he wasn't feeling well, because I had a long heart-to-heart discussion with Stubb on Facebook. I'm telling him, I think you need to change your ways, Stubb. I think you need to change something. Do something with your game setup. Do something to try and give you better touch. Experiment. If you want to mix it with these guys. But he couldn't have come any closer. But close isn't good enough. And if Albinario keeps going the way he's starting here, Spectredawn will very soon, if he hasn't already, realised he might have a job in his hands here. Oh, where's the cue ball? I think he's okay. Just a nice enough bounce. And this is going to be 2-0 right from the start. Has Spectredawn had a shot yet? Because I've been busy looking at the chat. Good evening, Linus. I think that's Linus. No, he hasn't had a shot yet. Well, Albinario is starting off like a steam train here, and the only thing that's going to undo this is the fact he's not going to have another shot here. But if you're Spectredawn, you don't panic. You don't panic into doing something silly, taking a stupid risk. You'll find your way into the match as long as you keep your head. But Albinario, if he can get the weight, I think he's just short. Well, Spectredawn can just see an edge, and he'll try and tuck this cue ball away. He's got good cover behind the 5, the 10 here, if he can get it. It's all about the weight. Well, I think he's maybe got that too thin. I don't think that's what he tried. I think if he had a wee bit of left on it, he might have spun back over towards that 10. Now Albinario might try something similar here. Problem is bringing the 1 ball into play. It's a risky shot, but that 3 ball could end up being a combo if this one ends up in the middle of the table. But Albinario's got it thin enough, but the mistake has been made, And obviously now, with ball in hand, Spectredawn has to deliver. Good evening, Keith, and good evening to anybody else that I've missed. And we may well get one or two more joining once the 8-ball tournament's finished, unless they're already joined, because you can still play in a tournament and watch the stream. I would be interested as well if one or two of you guys could, I don't know what the link is, and I don't know how you find my channel on Restream, but I think you can watch it live on Restream as well, and type in the chat there if anybody wants to take a time out and try and find me on Restream. And I don't know how you search for channels in Restream either. I don't know whether I don't know what the link is to my channel on Restream. I just know that it's got a Restream studio where you can set up your broadcast and everything. I only use Restream for the chat mix. Why is the chat all disappearing from the top down? That's weird. It's the first time I've seen that happen. Well, Spectredawn got the chance. Albinario's first big mistake, the scratch on the safety, and Spectredawn did come up with the goods. Back to within one, but the break is dry but safe. I need to have a quick drink here. Well, that's another weak one from Albinario. Of course, the ball not hitting a rail, and it's another free goal for Spectredawn here, so Albinario's lead might be short-lived. Because the error count has gone to 2-0 for Albinario. And every ball is on, so it's just the usual, picking your way through them. Now, I think you might stun this 3 in and stun past the 9 to take the 4 between the 8. Yeah, he's just gone too far, just a wee bit too far. Yeah, plenty of room between the 8 and the 6 ball, but that angle's just a wee bit more than he would ideally like here. Gives him more to think about with the cue ball. Well, it's a bit of a strange start here for Albinario, winning the lag and breaking and running 2 racks, more or less, and then all of a sudden one big error, one scratch, is then closely followed by a poor safety, and Spectredawn is just sending Albinario a message: if you're going to start making mistakes, I'm going to do this. And this is a good way to respond from Spectredawn. It's always good when you punish the mistake. And we're back all square, 2 racks all. Oh, it's stub here. It's what we say in Scotland is a wee bit peely-wally. So a ball in the break for Spectredawn, but no shot, but a good safety. And Albinario looking to kick this 2 rails, side rail, short rail, and hit that one full in the face. Now Albinario is pretty good at the 3 rail or the 3 cushion shots, but that's going to be exposed, and it's another go for Spectredawn. I was hoping that Tin would join tonight, because I banned him from a Twitch channel. I was hoping he would join. The bastard bloody muted me the other night, and just as it was setting up today, I said, oh, I'll test this out and see if this works. So I banned him, but he's nowhere around. I was waiting for him to come in and say, I can't find you in Twitch. Because I banned the bastard. I was fair looking forward to him trying to join. Right, this is a tricky one. 6 ball is really awkward. In fact, it's so awkward I'm thinking, well, how is he going to get there? I mean, you could play a safety from it, lock Albinario up. That's always one option. And in fact, it's a lot easier to do that than it is to try something really elaborate here. Well, he's took the risk and he's got away with it. And now he has to take it out, checking the cue ball to stop it running in towards the 9 and 10. And Spectredawn is 4 balls away from taking the lead, but he's going to have to keep running, and this is tricky again. He's a good roughly about 10 inches short on where the cue ball should be on this 8 ball, and he's checked it once again. Loads of English to check that cue ball straight off the rail there when it hits the second rail. And so Spectredawn has got 3 in a row and the lead. And this time Spectredawn has a ball in the break, but once again he's got no luck in getting a shot. But he's got the safety. Well, Albinario can certainly just brush the one, and he's got good cover. Well, good safeties are the ones that are going to yield you chances. And Albinario will be hoping to get something from this. 2 ball hanging over the top right hand corner pocket. Every other ball is on apart from the one at the moment. And Albinario gets his chance. Now, this is again a bit tricky. He's definitely calling the 2. He's got to get this 1 ball pretty well on line, because if he goes right to the rail first, he's not going to knock the 2 in, I don't think. That could go right against the knuckle. And he's got it. Now, does he use the 8 ball to enlarge the middle pocket? And this will depend on where this cue ball ends up, unless he wants to come up the table, but he can certainly have the choice of either or. But he's going up the table or down the table as we look. What's everybody chatting about? Is Stub hogging the chat again? Yes, I banned the person. I banned him from Twitch. I did it before I started the stream. I was hoping he would join, and I was wanting him to say I can't get into Twitch. So I thought I'd give him a taste of his own bloody medicine. What's tit for tat suits me fine. Revenge. Well, this is, I mean, apart from the 2 errors that Albinario has made, this is a standard at the top of the tree. It's no miss. You get a chance to clear the table, you clear the table, or else it's going to be a very fine margin between winning and losing a rack in this match, judging by what we've seen so far. Now he can just soft draw off this 8 ball across the table. Doesn't want to be running down. Now he doesn't want it to be straight either or on the rail, and he's almost done both, but he can go around the corner. And this is a testy one. This is one to keep your eye on. This 10 ball, it is not a gimme. This for 3 racks all, or 4-2 to Spectredawn. Well, was there ever a doubt? And it goes. And another dry break. I'll be hoping that the next time that there's a big event like this that rack money is put on, because I want to see the difference in the break, especially 10 ball. I think it would be interesting to see how different the break is, because in the standard rack in 10 ball, where it normally racks, if that 2 ball goes clean around the table, it's going into the corner pocket usually. But if you put rack money on, that would take that out of the equation. But every now and again we're seeing that 2 ball run around. If it doesn't collide with anything, it will run around and track into the bottom right hand corner pocket. But rack money should change that. I think Spectredawn may well have got away with that. Yes, he's got away with it. This is going to be a very thin edge and just drop to the 4. No, I won't be. I don't know how you lift it, because I tested to see how you can lift a ban. And the thing is, on Twitch it's a bit kind of dated the way they do things, because if you go to read the help thing, it's all about / ignore and then somebody's name and all of that stuff, so I can't be bothered with that. And then unignore and everything like this, and oh no, that's like the Dark Ages, that. Well, Albinario just going to drop onto the 4. Now I'm looking to see where the problem can be here. Well, again, it's good to have the 7 up near the 8. It always makes it simpler to get on the 8. But then of course the path is down from the 8 to the 9. Plenty of room on the left hand side to get onto this 9 ball, assuming he gets that far. Now this here is either going to have to be just killed stone dead or a little draw, but either way it's getting stunned into the corner pocket. It's got to be flush, got to be clean, and as soon as you're digging down you can always put that wee bit of English on it that you don't want, send it to the knuckles. Well, Scotland were up 1-0 when I got ready for the stream, so I don't know how they're doing in the second half. This is, I think he's going to have to stun across for the 8. I don't like the idea of just rolling through. You can get very close to the 8, so that's why he stunned across. If you just roll through, you end up too close to the 8 and you might go behind it in terms of lower than the 8, and then that just makes it more difficult for position. So he's done the right thing there, and all the way down the left hand side, and if that bounces he'll be perfect. Well, that's exactly where you want to be. And so Albinario odds on to regain his lead. So a reminder to the latecomers, anybody who's joined after we started, this is the hot seat match to see who gets to the final, and we also have the one lost side match tomorrow. Well, I'll be scratching the break. So tomorrow night at 7 o'clock British summer time, we will have the match between Cobra and Semi Pro in the race to 10. So a couple of hours earlier than what we are tonight, which is good for me because I'm back at work on Friday morning, and then I'm working Saturday, working Sunday, and then I'm off for a week, and I cannot wait. I am going to be sitting around on my arse for a week, I can assure you, doing absolutely bugger all, as they say. Well, Spectredawn here, he's got a great chance to bury Albinario, but look at where the 3 is. I mean, this calls for the good safety, unless he can take the break, which he has done, and split them, and it's come out pretty nice. And I don't think Spectredawn's in much mood for messing about. He wants to get on with it when he's got a chance and take the chance, and it's worked so far, especially from the 2-0 down at the start. Good evening, Bill. Oh, good evening, Bedhead. All these latecomers, the door should have been closed. We shouldn't be letting these guys in. How many can you have in a stream with the COVID restrictions? I hope you're all wearing your face masks. By the way, I went on to the government website today, and I typed in my postcode to find out what the latest restrictions. I'll tell you, I'd advise anybody in the UK to do it. Type in your postcode. I don't know whether it's different for Scotland, but I typed in my postcode. It's like, I don't know whether it's covid.gov or whatever, but if you type in Google, you know, COVID restrictions, it will take you straight to the site. So when I put the postcode in, it comes up with a whole lot of text and Nicola Sturgeon's bloody speech that she did the other day or yesterday or this morning or whatever, and I left the site just as confused as I was before I went on it, because it doesn't just tell you in plain English, you know, here's what you can't do in this area, blah 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 blah, a whole load of bullshit that you get. It was of little or no help whatsoever in going to that website. because I haven't been really paying attention to the news recently in terms of, you know, the COVID speeches and all that stuff. I just know that you have to wear a face mask at work, and that's basically it. Well, we are all square. 4 racks all, and Albinario, well, he's got his work ahead of him. The 5 ball won't be a problem, but it could well be an 8-9 combo here. Now let's have a quick look at that 9, and it's off the rail. So it's not a difficult combo as long as you're sort of here. If you're over here trying to play a combo, forget it. It just multiplies the difficulty tenfold. But it will be a good rack to take out if you can. 11 in YouTube, excellent. What, I mean, now when you say no masks here in Sweden, Bedhead, I'm assuming you don't mean that every retailer that sells them has ran out of them. It's just that you are so bloody lazy you can't be bothered wearing them. But you think about it as well, I mean, Sweden, I presume it's a bit tighter in you know, the big city. What is it, Stockholm? I would imagine it's a bit more restrictive in that area than it would be out in the sticks, halfway up a mountain. Well, Albinario is rapidly approaching the critical shot in this rack. Well, I mean, at work, we only got a message last week that, I mean, whenever you left the shop floor, you could take your mask off, which I didn't think was right in the first place. But last week they started putting posters all around the store in the staff areas saying that masks were now compulsory in all areas of the store. That's back of store and on the shop floor. And you've still got silly people coming in with face visors on, which have absolutely no protection whatsoever. Neither do these masks that we're wearing, because they're not proper PPE. And Albinario has failed. I mean, look at the space that Albi's got up that table. I mean, anywhere up in the top half of the table, and he would have had a shot, obviously, if it was near the right hand side, but he's fell way short there. So that is a poor positional shot by Albi. And now he's got an even trickier safety shot here. He's going to have to push that 8 past the middle pocket, and probably with a bit of left hand English to go over near the 10 side of that left hand pocket. It's really tricky, because if you're going to play this with English, you make that 8 ball connection even more difficult. Yeah, he's just going to roll to it, which is the safest option. Well, I think they offer very little protection. I mean, I suppose it's for most people that are wearing them, it's just simply a peace of mind thing. That's all it is. I mean, unless you were going to your work in a full bodysuit, you know, like one of these dead, you know, like what you see in the movies, one of these deadly diseases, a full suit. That's the only way you would feel safe. And then there was that medical journal, The Lancet, I heard on the radio during the week that I think a guy in the States had COVID early on, and he had the sort of mild symptoms of it, and then he recovered from it, and then he got it again. So that shows you how much we know about it. So the fact that you have it, or you've had it, whether it be good or bad or mild or whatever, and you then recover from it to a certain extent, there's nothing to say that you can't get it again. The guy got it again, and he got it even more severe. Did we win 1-0? That'll do. Thanks for that. But you've got people who've had it, and they might not have ended up in a ventilator, but you've got people who are getting, you know, they're getting winded when they're walking up a stair. Their lungs are taking a long time to recover. Now that 2-ball was tracking again, but it actually ended up into the middle. But more importantly, Albinario has regained the lead, and there is a mess at the bottom end of the table here that will have to be resolved. And meanwhile, Albinario, well, he could be potting the 1, but the only advantage he'll get is if he can clip into the 8. Well, that is a pretty good shot, because now he can take a big risk here, or he can just try and get up for the 4. But I don't think he's got an awful lot of options. I don't know whether he can escape this without clipping the 6, but he could break things open, and he's hoping for a bit of luck. And that 9-ball has just ruined that idea, but he might be going for the billiard. This is not a bad billiard from this 4-ball to the 9. It's just about getting the touch and the spin right. He's probably, well, it's dangerous to push it towards the 9, but he's looking for distance, I think. And, well, that is right on the rail. Well, Albinario, is he going to be enticed to kicking it in? Nope, not even looking at it. Well, he's thinking about it now. How does it look from that side? Yeah, that's not easy over the 9-ball. Double kiss here. And using the double kiss to his advantage, where it just pushes you back up the table. Reverse bank is on, and straight away Spectredawn is on it. He's certainly not playing the safety here. He could stun that hard and take a big risk to try and run in behind the 9, but it needs to stop. So it's Albinario with first shout. Open pocket for the 4, no problem with the 5, and a gap between the 8 and the 10 to get on that 6. And if he gets on the 6 at the right angle, he can just come up for that 7, because there's room to pot the 7, but he has to find the gap, and he has to go far enough that he can drop this 6 in, and he's not there, I don't think. Well, he had a shot similar to this in a previous match, didn't he, where he bent it and managed to stun it in rather than the cue ball spinning away up the table. He's going to go for the same shot here, I think. No, he's played it gentle, and this time using the spin, and that will do nicely. Are you still at it, Stubb, for God's sake? I mean, let's be honest, you're a thing of the past as far as this tournament's concerned. You should just be sitting watching and learning. you're beginning to sound more and more like Earl Strickland every day. Well, the angle's there, a bit of helping spin, could be a risk of a scratch here down in this bottom right hand corner, but he's got to go for it to make sure he gets right down in this 10 ball, because I think this 10 ball is fairly tight, or is it? And of course commentator's eye has done it again. No, the 10 ball's fine. There's always a risk of the scratch if you're going to go deep into the corner to get good on the 10, and that is a gift, and it gets Spectredawn back all square. But Spectredawn can't buy a decent break yet. He's had a ball in the break, but then he's got no shot, and this time he's got nothing. Yeah, Stubb is old news now as far as this tournament goes, so if he wants to sit and watch the stream and rant, I don't know why he's doing it. Is he just doing it for attention, or is it just a behavioural problem? I advised him to go and recoup, go and assess the situation, but don't just come in and keep saying these guys aren't good enough. They've been more than good enough to put him out the tournament, and every other tournament that there's been. Oh, I'll be looking at the 6, so you can certainly, well, I think he can do two things. He can either come up, but it's very tight to just drop past the 8 to take that 6 in the middle. If he comes back off the 5, he's got a much wider area to get on the 6. Well, he's gone the short way. This is always a danger one, because he's got the wrong angle now. He's going to have to either, well, I don't think he can avoid going up and down the table here. The angle he's got, the cue ball has to run away. Well, he's went for the shot I didn't think he would risk, and this type of shot is just asking a bit more, but I mean, it's off the rail, but the cue ball again is going to be running. And once you start doing that, you start beginning to get out of line, but he's got a huge area to get on the 9. Mark, are you still there? Yes, I was watching, what was that channel? What are they showing now? Sky Arts. We've got Sky Arts on Freeview now. And I've actually been watching a few of the documentaries on it. But they actually showed, they've been showing Tales of the Unexpected. You remember Tales of the Unexpected on a Sunday night? And I switched it on today, and guess who was in Tales of the Unexpected? I mean, this is a thing that's made in the UK back in the sort of, what, mid-70s or to about the early 80s or whenever. And I switched it on. I think they were only ever half-hour episodes, but it was like, you know, it was like a little drama. But it was called Tales of the Unexpected because sort of there were weird stories. I was shocked to see Eli Wallach was in it. Tuco from the good, the bad, and the ugly. I thought, oh by God, I was really shocked because I mean, I watched a lot of them when they were on, and I couldn't believe he was in it. He would have been about probably 70 then when he appeared in that. There's actually some good documentaries on that Sky Arts, by the way. It's worth a watch. And the fact that we're getting it for nothing in Freeview, it suits me fine, because I certainly wouldn't bloody pay for it. So, Albinario has the lead, and Spectredawn has a problem. He's got himself hooked in the two. Now, is he going to do a Yamaguchi Taru here? Is he going to be brave enough to have a go? He looks as if he is. Or is he? No. He's back looking at it. There's plenty of room to get over the 5 because it's only the edge of it. Who was it earlier in the tournament that did? Was it Mooncake? Is Mooncake there? Because he had a couple of these shots and he actually got one of them. Or one or two of them. And I think Spectredawn's gave it serious thought. So here we go. Yeah, well, I don't think he'll be trying that again because that was sort of half-hearted. That was a hit and hope. You're gonna have to tell him how to do it. I think he thought and then he thought, right, I'll have a go at it, bang, and never even gave it. He never gave it 2 seconds to get himself set right, and just had a blast at it. I mean, we can sit here and laugh because it's so bloody difficult to do it, and I still cannot fathom how Yamaguchi Taru does it. I don't know. But Albinario has the chance with ball in hand. Now, 7 to the 8. That's sort of the biggest travelling distance that there is to go in this visit. Well, I think he's, yeah, he can just sneak a little angle, drop the 4 in and go through past the jaw for this 5 ball. He's just got a perfect little angle to pinch there on this 4, just enough, and that will do. Oh, I think you basically have to lock yourself in a room with a play cue and just practice jumping. And it probably, to be honest with you, I think it's better to practice jumping offline with a play cue, because in offline mode you've got the cue angle, you know, the little cue angle meter. They've got that in the offline version, and it can give you an idea of what works. But online, obviously, you then have to go back to guessing. But it might be a good way of practicing, because you never know. If you're still in the tournament, there might be a shot that could be the critical shot of a match, or a critical shot to survive, one of the two, and you might have to dig out a jump. You might resist wanting to do it, but you might not have any options. But Albinario is going to open the lead again, and it's going back to 2. Well, I'm sure early on in that tournament that what the hell tournament was it that Yama was in? Was it the 9 ball one that he won? I think it was, and I'm sure he was using a house cue to jump a lot of occasions, and he was even doing it with he then ended up with a playing cue, but he was also jumping with a house cue. And I mean, we're not talking jumping a ball that is 10 inches away. We're talking about jumping a ball that's like 3 inches away and doing it clean. Well, Spectredawn has been, well, given first shot here really, but let's look at that too. Well, that is really tight off the jaw, but there is more room than he thinks though. He has to just get it pocket weight, and it will go past the 9 when you look at it from here. But when you look at it from here, it's a whole different story when you're looking there. But that does go in off the far jaw, and he's going to have to just roll it dead weight, because it's the only way he's going to see the 3 ball, and he's not risking it. I think common sense has prevailed there. Well, I don't get into a lot of analysing as far as jumping goes. I get the jump stick out, lift the butt, and then hit it and hope. I haven't ever put very much in the way of practicing into jumping in VP4, hence the fact I'm crap at it. And that is not a bad safety there by Spectredawn. Found his way up the table, but he could find himself in trouble though, because the reverse bank on this 2 ball, Albi won't be calling the bank I don't think, but he's just trying to drop behind the 5 and 10, and he's just got there. Yeah, you can ask Bill, but I bet you Bill won't come up with a straight answer as far as jumping with a playing cue is concerned. Bill, I don't think Bill will have worked out the theory about jumping with a play cue. He's a mean son of a bitch with a jump cue, but a play cue, whole different ball game. What was that film? White Men Can't Jump. There you go. That's the problem. Well, Albinario has the chance here, and a really good chance. Well, I don't think he got into that enough. He got the stun part of it, but he wanted to get a wee bit of draw to get closer to the 3. Well, this is tight. Yeah, he's punched it into the rail, and I don't think he's got away with it this time. Well, it was looking good there for Albinario he played that shot to get on the 3, and it could have been easily a 3-rack lead there, and that's a chance that he's thrown away. That angle, I think the angle is there. Yep, just get that cue ball up. But once again, Spectredawn has just left himself a wee bit too square in this 5. But he's got the pace right though in the follow-up shot. And Albinario, I think, will be kicking himself, because he got that shot to the 3 ball all wrong. He got one part of it right. He got the stun part, but the tip of the cue just was not low enough on the equator of the cue ball just to get that little draw to work. That stun draw that I call it. It's a shot where you use reasonable power, but you don't get the big draw reaction because you're not putting the cue stick low, and executing it is never always a guarantee, especially the angle that he had. But he had an angle to get that little draw to work better, and he didn't get it right, and it's cost him a 3-rack lead, to be honest with you, because it's now back to within 1. Well, this time Spectredawn has got a break that has worked for the first time in the match. He's got a ball, he's got a shot, and he should be out. Now that shot there was like a little stunny draw shot that Spectredawn just played. Just enough action in the cue ball to get it out. I haven't tested the replay yet. In fact, I meant to test it in the last match that I did, and I don't think I ever did it. What number's the button? Can't even see the bloody thing, and I'm sitting next to it. Number 2. Well, just a matter of a minute or so ago, Albinario was odds on, had he got on that 3-ball, to be 3 racks in front, and that might manifest itself into a bigger follow-up problem for Albinario, because Spectredawn is going to get it back all square, and this from the break, and a ball and a shot, and at last his break worked for him. Watch the 2. Watch the 2. If it misses everything, well, it's not go. Oh, yeah, it is going. There you go. First time in the match that's happened. As long as it gets clean, it's always going to go in. And he's got half a shot in the 1 ball, but once again, he can play a decent safety here. He sees, well, now I think he played the pot there, and it's all went wrong and then all went right, if you know what I mean. He's left it safe, and Albinario needs to get this by a whisker to come around the angles and down here to the 10 ball. Or the 7, and behind the 8, and that's ended up a nice safety. Spectredawn can just see the edge. Similar shot here for Spectredawn if he gets the pace on it, but he's going to end up behind the 5. And now it's anybody's rack. But right now, with the position Albinario's in, the favourite is Spectredawn. Well, Albinario, that was not the best of deliberate fouls, was it? I mean, all he's done is left a 7-10 combo, It was not very well played, and Spectredawn has ball in hand and is going to finish with a 7-10. He doesn't need to move anything. Well, if you look close at it, maybe not, because that 10 and 7 are very close, and he's going to have to skim that or dead weight it to go in off the jaw. When the more you look at it, the better chance it has gone in, but it has to be played slow, I think. Well, would you believe it? Look what Spectredawn has got himself into here. Well, here's another fine mess, as Ollie would say. And now it's Albinario that's going to be playing the combo that he's set up himself. He's having a look at the 7-10 right now. He's not looking at anything else. Just roll the 5 in, leave the angle in the 6 to come off that short rail and down to the bottom half of the table for the 8 ball, for the right hand side of the table for the 7 ball, I should say. Now, what does he do? Does he go out into the table? I think that's the safest route, but he's then going to have a wider angle rather than trying to get over to this narrow side in the gap between the 2 balls and the right side rail as we look. Oh, this can go wrong. This has gone wrong. Oh dear. Well, this rack has changed hands already twice, and Albinario now, what's he going to try? Try to graze the 7. And that will do, unless Spectredawn thinks he can punch that 7 and somehow hit the 10, but it looks too narrow. He's too close to the rail. Yeah. And well, that's went wrong. And Albinario, of course, when he pots this 7, he's only really going across the table. So, and he's in the wrong end of the table for the 8, so he's going to try and have to leave some sort of cut. And this is not easy, but he can certainly bury Spectredawn, which he's odds on to do here, I would think. He's got to get to the rail though, so I think he's going for the pot, because when you look at that, he can't just push it through soft, so he had to go all out. And Albinario, reprieve for a second time, is going back into the lead. Well, we're now at a stage in the match where, well, obviously Albinario would have hoped to have been 2 or 3 racks in front, and then, to be honest with you, he should be, but he should have been 3 racks in front. But now that the match has got to this stage, okay, he's back in front, but as long as Spectredawn keeps hanging on to his coattails, it will get interesting as the match goes on, or more interesting, to see how Albi reacts. We've seen how he reacts from being 3 behind. He wins 6 in a row to win the match. So Albinario's break is dry, and Spectredawn, well, I mean, he's plumb behind the 9 ball. And what does he do here? I think he's trying to push the 9 to the 10. I think that's what he's doing. He's looked at it and then he's decided against it. Did he call the push out? Ah, he did. That's why I'm confused. I thought he was in his second shot there, and then I saw the push out coming up. Now what's that left? Well, does Albinario think that one can cut? Because if he does, he'll go for it, and if he doesn't, he'll put Spectredawn back in. Oh, he's played it well. That was not an easy shot. Well, it's always best to get lucky at the right time, Pot Man. That's what I say. I got lucky at the right time in my sensational outshot in that Cowboy match, I'll tell you that. That was a perfect time to get lucky. Well, Albi's finished in the worst possible position here because he's dead straight. So unless he wants to force this in and try and steal an angle, he can only really go forward past that 6 ball, and he's played it well as well. No problem with the 5 and no problem coming back out for the 6, but this 6 ball, he wants to be really in the heart of the table to make it simple to get on the 7. No, that was pure skill, Potman, I hasten to add. And like I said, when you watch that shot, it doesn't because you can't rotate the VP4 replay. You can't go to 3D. You can't see where the cue ball was. I mean, it was in the pocket, but it was against that near jaw. And all I did was just look at the angle. Of course, you see the shot played a lot quicker. I mean, I did look at the angle where I was going to kick in the first kick. And then if I got the second kick right, there's a strong chance I was going to come off the back of that 1 ball and go into the pocket. And I got lucky. I just picked it right. That's my one and only shot in 20 odd years of playing pool that I've thought about and it worked out. So, is there a turning point in this match? Well, I thought it was when Spectredawn got himself back in it from possibly being 3 down. But it's Albinario looking favourite. And he's perfect in this 9 ball. Just drop right through it. But Albinario is favourite now to go 2 in front again. I don't think I mean, apart from the 2 racks at the start, has Albi broken run a rack since then? I don't think he has, unless somebody can remember. But now's about the right time where he wants to do it again, to give himself that 3 rack lead. 2 ball, and it's hit the 6 this time. And well, there is a shot in the 1 for Spectredawn, and every ball is available, and this is where the pressure kicks in, because he's trailing by 2, he's got an open table, and he knows in the back of his mind that he has to run the table. This is where the pressure kicks in. Let's see if he can hold it together and get the job done. And he's failed on the first shot. He's left it reasonably safe. Albinario can't see enough of that ball to skim off it down here in amongst the clusters down here of where the balls are. So not as easy to play a safety here. And he just clipped it to the rail, and it is a good safety after all. No, I'm sure that shot's been played before. That shot will have been played. In fact, I think I've played it before, once before myself, I think, at some time, or something similar to it, where and I'll tell you the shot I played. The shot I played at one time was the 1 ball was there, and the cue ball was there, and the shot I played was to kick the side rail, hit the 1 ball, and the cue ball then rolled into the corner. That was the shot I played. I remember playing that one. But I haven't played one that was 2 rails to kick the 1 ball and scratch. That's the one and only time I've ever done that. Well, Albinario at the table, and well, is he going to punish Spectredawn? Because Spectredawn, I was asking the question there, he came to the table 2 racks behind with a shot in the 1 and overcut it to the short rail on the bottom. He's left Albinario the chance, and well, it can still go wrong, this, because that 6 ball, he has to drop down onto it from the 5, and it's gone wrong immediately on the 4. And I think he's, well, is he going to go all out for the pot, or is he going to run for cover? Because this is, I haven't said it tonight, but this is definitely a bedhead shot. Yeah, he's trying to hide, and once again he's, well, I think I was going to say once again he has done it, but this time he may well have failed. The big hindrance is a 7, but he can get past that 10. I think he'd just get there, but I think he had a wee bit, again, Spectredawn's not taking enough time to get himself set there. I think he just took that far too quick. You need to just have a look at the Q-tip if you're moving about, and make sure that you're not putting any spin on that ball. And the other thing he should have been doing is using the W key, because when you use the W key, you can line up the shaft of the cue with the object ball, and that way it gives you a better line to the pot. And I don't think he done that either. And he could be made to pay this time. Now, does that 6 ball go past? Yes, it does. But of course, we know what has to be done here. He has to get there, and if he doesn't get in a good line on this 6, well, he's done that. I don't think he could have played that any better. He's got a perfect little angle to drop the 6 in and just finish somewhere level with the 9 in terms of the line to the 2 short rails. Well, he's punched the 7 and that's gone wrong big time. I thought he could have missed that. Maybe not though. I thought he could have went to the rail and come out. But clearly he couldn't. And Spectredawn may well have been reprieved himself this time. That's a big mistake by Albi. Well, he's going to have to just go in off the jaw with a bit of spin and he can get to the 8. Cue ball's okay. Well, this is going to be a sore one for Albinario. Maybe I should have had a better look at that shot that he had, because I thought he could pot that and miss the 10 and run through to the rail, but clearly he couldn't, so he thought he would punch the 10 out the way, but he just locked it up. And Spectredawn is going to get back to within 1, and Albinario just can't escape Spectredawn. And the reason he can't is when he's had those chances, he's made mistakes that have let him back in, and Spectredawn's been given the chances and Spectredawn's been taking them, which is all he can do. 3 ball. Again, it was tracking around but run into traffic. But I think it's an easy starter for Albi though. Well, Albinario, I'm going to use a term they use in golf. Is it bounce back ability? You just had a bogey and then you get a birdie in the next hole or something like that. I think that's the term that they use. So let's see what Albinario's bounce back ability is like, because he's just sold a rack there to Spectredawn. Spectredawn coming up with the dry break and leaving a shot for Albi, and Albinario will be desperate to take advantage of it. And can he do it? Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. A reminder to any guys that have joined late, if you've joined the stream but you aren't chatting, I don't know that you're there, but I'll assume that you are. This is a hot seat match to see who gets to the final of this year's 10 ball Masters Championship, and we're down to the last 4 players. These 2 players going at it tonight, and tomorrow night at 1900 British Summer Time we've got the one lost side match between Cobra and Semi Pro, and I'll be there for that one, and I hope you can join us. And then of course the winner of the Cobra Semi Pro match will then play the loser of this match to see who gets to the final. And Albinario's just gone a wee tad too far, and again that just means that the cue ball's having to do more to get good on this 7. Now, can he drag this enough to come in behind the 7? Yes, he can. The little draggy shot, just to use that draw to gently push it to the rail and come out. And it's another problem because he's pretty straight on the 7, and he's maybe going to pinch a bit here and go around the angles over to the right hand side. This is tricky. Is he going to get there though? Is he going to get there? That is extremely tight, but he's just on it, just and no more, I think. Well, is he? Yeah, he can get it. Now I think he's got to overhit this and make sure it gets up here. Is he going to try and gently put it? Yeah, he's got to get up there. And I think that will do it. So Spectredawn had got back to within one. His break was dry, the one ball was on, and of course Albinario's bounce back ability shouldn't be brought into question because he's ran the table, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy that he's regained his lead again, back to 2, and the first player to double figures in this race to 14. Ball went into the middle, 10 balls going in, 10 ball comes up, and Albinario has a very thin soft drop in on the 1, and well, he's certainly going to have a reasonably easy safety shot, I would think, unless this cue ball comes out and he can play a combo in the 2-4, but I doubt that very much. It's going to be the safety, I would think. He's still talking about jump cues. He's been at it for an hour. Well, I'll be trying to drop behind the 4, but he's failed. Spectredawn can't push him through in the 2 to lock him behind the 9. There's well, the pot's on. Spectredawn is going to run between the 9 and 10 if he takes this on. I think he's looking to see whether he's going to run into the 10, but I think he'll, the worst happens, he'll maybe clip it. Well, the worst has happened. He's hit it thicker and he's locked out, and that's the little margins that work for you or work against you. You just never know. And now, well, he's called the 5. It's the old hit and hope. And he's got no joy, and this time Albinario will be on this like a rash to take this out, to open the gap for the first time in the match to 3 racks. If he can miss this 4 ball, I don't think he's got an awful lot of choice here. He's just trying to leave it on down the rail, and he's done that well. And he can just well, I think he wants to come back a wee bit here, because I think he wants to get up the table for this 7 ball into the corner, so he wants to come back and leave the angle to do it. Let's have a look at that. Well, he might have to put a wee helping bit of spin on it. I think he's fine. That will do nice. And this could be the crucial rack that opens that gap to 3. And now Spectredawn is in exactly the same territory as Albinario was against Stubb. Providing Albi can get out here, he can just run into the table, natural angle, cue ball going up and over to the right. And Spectredawn will have to do something similar to what Albi did against Stubb, trailing by 3, 11-8, and won the last 6 racks. Is that too tall an order for Spectredawn? We're about to find out. It's 11-8. Now here's an instance here where the break is dry. Spectredawn has got a pot in the one when he really should be playing a safety. Is he going to be enticed into having a go here? Because he's also looked at the 2 to make sure the 2 goes. Is he going to go all out? Because he can bank this one up the table. He's going all out for the pot. Well, he's made his decision. Let's look at the 5. Well, the 5 goes as long as you get there, but only goes into the one pocket. Well, this is all or nothing. And the other problem is the 4 ball's going nowhere. I think he was also looking to see if the 4 went past the 9 and the 5. Well, it doesn't, so there is trouble here. And he's now looking at a safety or the combo, and he's called the combo. And remember what I keep saying as well, at some point you're going to run out of shots, and this is a vital combo to stay in the rack. And the 4 ball still in play, and he's going to leave a high cut in this 5 if he's going to try and be really gentle. And well, this is the type of shots that you run out a lot at some time. It's asking a lot, but this is tough. Cue ball has to come down towards the 6, but it's all out for the pot. And it goes, and he's on the 6. Well, this is a good rack. If Spectredawn can find himself on the 9, and this is not easy either. It can all go wrong. We know how it does go wrong, but he's certainly got to give himself every chance. Well, again, he's leaving himself these shots to keep the run going. And he's run out of shots, I'm afraid, and that was just asking one too many. Well, we knew it was coming at some point, and it's certainly when he played to get on that 9 like that, you just knew it was asking too much. And Albinario is going further ahead to within 2 of the final, and it's 12-8. Well, it's dry, and Spectredawn has a choice of what he wants to play here. It's a 1-5 combo or a 1-9 combo. Well, he's called the 9. Needs to still have a shot in the 1. He's got that, but look at where the 2 is. The 2 goes past the 3. So can he avoid a collision at that end of the table. Well, he can do that, but the cue ball is scratching, and that's an absolute disaster. And ball in hand for Albinario. He's just looking at all the shots, taking his time to get within one of the final. I'm looking to see where the problem is, but I don't see it. It's going to be self-inflicted if anything goes wrong here. Well, he's going to be inside the 5 ball because he's gone straight on this 4. So he can only just roll through, and the further he goes through, the more the angle opens up on this 5. So that he can just bring the cue ball around. Well, he's hit it soft, but it's still going to be similar to that 6 in the middle, I would think. He might prefer to take it long, because if he doesn't get the right angle in the 6, he's having to do maybe more with the cue ball. Yeah, that's why he's trying to get right down on it. He's overhit it, but he's better doing that, because he can go top end of the table as we look and go over to the right. And the other way this will go wrong is from the 7 to the 8, because that 10 ball is a hindrance where it's sitting, and he's now again gone a bit straight on this 7. Well, I think he's going to come back off this. Just make sure he comes back enough to see that 8 ball. I don't think he wants to risk going forward and going in the bottom side of the 10, because if he overhits it, he's going to leave a cut. Well, he is doing it, and as he got there, well, it might be a bank. It is a bank. He hasn't got on it. Well, this is vital for Spectredawn's survival, this shot. If Albinario gets it in, which he has done, he's going to be on the hill. Well, has Spectredawn got anything left? Because now the big question is asked. You're down, you're out, but you've still got a chance. Albinario's the ball in the break. The 2 and the 4 have gone. The 1 is on, and the lifeline for Spectredawn is the 8 and 10. So he's hanging by a thread at the moment. Well, as I said earlier on, these 2 guys are the 2 players out of the 4 that have the best chance of getting to the final, and Spectredawn is going to get a second bite at the cherry if this goes the way it's looking very likely to go. It's not over this rack yet, but Spectredawn looking odds on though that he's going to be waiting on the winner of the match tomorrow night between Cobra and Semi-Pro. Now Albinario, if he gets, well, he's went for the break and he's scratched, and Spectredawn lives again, but can he find a way Well, he's got ball in hand, so he can pot the 6 and break the 8 and 10 here, but he's going to leave a long 7 ball by doing that, and he's just going to hope he gets lucky. Well, he doesn't look as if... Well, I think he's just thinking about it now, but he's certainly going to run through to open them. But the 7 ball he's going to have, he needs to watch that 9 ball, and he's missed the 8 with ball in hand, and that is poor. And what's more, he's got a toughie to get this safe, and he has to get the distance and the cover, and he has done. He's played it well, and of course Albinario doesn't want to do anything that's going to nudge anything towards this 8 and 10. And this is not easy to get to. And where the 7 ball is, Albinario's done the right thing there. Where the 7 ball is, it's a big distance for these 2 balls. Now this time Spectredawn can come off the 2 rails and kick in behind the 10 and 8. I think that's what he's trying to do, and he's missed the 7, and that possibly, well, it's not finished very pretty here for Albinario, but it possibly could be Spectredawn's last shot. But he's going to have to... Now this is absolutely plumb straight, this 7 ball. He's going to have to try and pinch something on it. He might have to leave a reverse bank on the 8. No, he's gone for the draw, trying to get there, and he's pretty much on it. That was a good shot. It's a little thin testy cut. And Albinario is going to be our first finalist all the way through the winner's side, unbeaten. And Spectredawn will have his second chance. But will he get a second chance against Albinario? He's going to have to beat Cobra or Semi-Pro to do it. But Albinario is through, and it's a 6 rack difference, and he wins by 14 racks to 8. Well, every player that's left's well in the money. It's a question of who's going to get the big prize at the end of it. Albinario is looking good. He's holding his nerve, and Spectredawn, well, he should have got the break in that 10 and 8 ball, was it? He should have, with ball in hand, in all honesty. And then having to try it again with the 7 ball, failed again. And you just can't do that now at this stage of the tournament. You have to get the shots and do it when the question is asked. And he's fallen short there, but all is not lost. He's going to still have a chance. So good luck to Spectredawn. Good luck to the guys tomorrow night. Remember, it's 7 o'clock, guys, tomorrow night, British summer time. I will be there, and I hope you guys can join us. If you can't, remember, it will be up on YouTube. It takes a wee while to process in YouTube, but it will be there, and you can watch it anytime you're at home or whenever if you miss it. So I'll be there tomorrow night. I hope you can join us. In the meantime, I'm going for a cup of coffee, and I'm going to have a biscuit as well. I think I might force myself, you never know. Thanks for joining. Take care, stay safe, keep your distance, keep your mask on, and I will see you again soon, if not tomorrow night. And until then, I will bid you good night, good evening, and see you all again soon.